Hi everyone. Today's case study is to help you realize about your subconscious conflicting identity patterns in your life. And if they are existing, you could find a solution towards it, or you could take a step to find and create a solution towards it. Now, there are many times when people make a career shift. When they are in a job, they want to start something of their own. So there is a job and there is a business, both at the same time, or when people have two businesses together. So in that case, some people can go through identity crisis. That means it becomes difficult to transition because if you have stayed in a job for many years and you are still in that job, you have not quit that job, and you wanted to start something different. Not that you are not liking your job, but you really like it, you want to continue with it, but at the same time, you're starting something of your own, right? So it's like you have developed a new passion in life, but you cannot give up on your old passion as well. In that case, you could go through some identity crisis where it could become difficult for you to change those identities, because there's so much happening in a day. Sometimes you're playing this role, sometimes you are in that role, and then it becomes difficult for you to manage. So I bring to you this case study so that you can identify certain patterns like this. And if they exist, you could find a solution for that. So this person is a fashion enthusiast, a fashion influencer, and a makeup artist. For the last 3 years, she has built a great fan following on social media by posting her content. But recently, she started posting less on social media because, with God's grace, she has been getting good work from the offline sources where she doesn't have to now post consistently on social media. She has different projects lined up already. So now she also developed fascination for the counseling skills. So recently she developed this fascination, and she reached out to me because I am a coach and she comes from a counseling background. So she started all of this. So she had this confusion. So we started discussing how she could go ahead. And one major thing which came up during this conversation is how to post on social media regarding her counseling skills and the kind of impact that she can make in people's life and everything related to that, because she has been very good with what she's currently doing. And now she needed guidance on how she could portray herself in terms of her counseling skills, how she could make people identify what is the work, what is the new work that she does. And she also has to tell it to her friends. So will they be able to accept her identity, whether she's a counselor? Because they see her as a full fashion enthusiast and somebody who is a fashion influencer, somebody who's very good at makeup. So will they accept her new identity? These were a lot of questions in her mind, and this was a lot of fear for her. So not that this fear was crippling and it was stopping her from proceeding ahead, but she had her own inhibitions and wanted to discuss. So one thing I told her is, what is the easiest step you could do to start making people aware that you have also started your services as a counselor? So she said that now she finds it very overwhelming to start the social media page again because she could remember her struggling years during the time when she started building her influencer page regarding fashion and makeup. And it took really a lot of hard work and everything. So she had her inhibitions that if now she's putting that much effort again, then how will she find time, to do everything that she's doing all by herself? So it could become difficult. So I told her, okay, if you don't want to start a new page, what would you do? Right now, what's the easiest way you could start telling people about your work or just showcasing your skills, your counseling skills? And she said that, yeah, social media is really necessary and I would like to start and portray my work there. And then I gave her an option. How about you use your current existing page where you've already built that fan following, that trust with people? How could you not start with it? So she had this question in mind because usually the belief is that if you have a page, it should cater to one particular category. Otherwise, it confuses people. So I told her that it might confuse people, but since you are facing difficulty with starting a new page, so why don't you use your existing page to start showcasing your counseling skills? And those who believe in you will always come to you and they will recognize a new passion of yours, they will recognize a new skill of yours. And those who have a problem with it will automatically leave that page. So you don't really have to worry about whether people will like it or not, because people's perception is always going to create a lot of confusion in your life, and you don't really have to get stuck to what is people's opinion. So it is just a thought that people will reject that page. It's just a thought, right? So I asked her to start building on this thought that the right people and the aligned audience will also find her counseling skills fascinating, and they would like to trust in her ability. And she started posting a little bit of counseling content there as well. And after some time, she received one brand collaboration, which was an online project. So she shared her social media page there. And now the thing was that she started having doubts that when this brand collaboration looks at her page and they also see some of the content of the counseling, then they are going to doubt whether this person is really capable of being a fashion influencer or being a makeup artist. Should they take this person for their new project or not? That means she was in that identity crisis that now she started putting the counseling content. Then even the brands will start rejecting her because they will think that she's not capable of, or she's not very reliable in terms of what she's currently doing as a makeup artist, as a fashion influencer. So that brought her this fear that what if they reject? Now, the thing is, she waited for 2 weeks. She had talks with them. She also explained about her new passion and the page revamp that she had. And this fashion brand collaboration, they didn't have any problem with it. They looked at her past portfolio and they offered her the project regarding the fashion. So one thing very fascinating here is that your mind will give you many, many thoughts to start to believe in. But the point is, do you give it, give yourself the chance to believe in that thought? If you give yourself that power to believe in that thought, then that thought is going to ruin you, right? Because in reality, the brand collaboration did happen and nobody had any issues with she also having another passion project as a counselor. So it is just a thought. Whatever doubtful thoughts that you get in your mind is just a thought. And a thought does not have a validation stamp on it that it is true and it is going to happen this way. It's just a thought. So you have to really look into your thought process to identify that are you just creating those illusionary scenarios in your mind, or you should wait for the reality to see what's really happening and whether that thought is truthful in the reality or not. Now comes the interesting part, which is that even after getting this brand collaboration, she was still very doubtful whether she should keep continuing posting both the contents or not, or she should continue only with the fashion influencing content. And why this came to her mind is because she was very fearful that she will start losing her identity amongst the audience as a fashion influencer, which she built really hard over a period of 3 years. And then I asked her that why do you fear this? What is it that's really bringing up this fear that you might lose your identity as a fashion influencer, which you have built over the last 3 years? And what really came up was something rooted in her childhood. So she told me that fashion is something that she really likes. It's a therapy for her. So she likes putting that content and she likes, taking up projects in that field. It just really gives her a lot of joy. So I thought, okay, maybe that's the case. She likes this project more than the new one. And that's why she's fearful that she might start losing out on the new people who might want to give her a project in the fashion industry. But the real challenge and the real issue was not this. Because when we regressed back in the childhood, we realized that this person suffered with self-image issues. And why this person suffered with self-image issues? Because this person was constantly compared to her cousins and other children in the class regarding the studies. So she was very average with studies, but she was always made to feel that something is wrong with her, that she's wasting her time and she's not putting that much effort in studies, and that she's not utilizing her time. And because she kept on hearing all of this, she somehow ignored it because she was also not very interested in studying a lot. But yeah, she was a good student in the sense she was sincere with it. And she said that I ignored it during the growing up years. Now, as we regress back in the past, we realized that these things had actually stayed with her. They consciously she might not remember, but unconsciously, these things stayed with her. And because of this, during all those years when she heard, elders telling her that you waste your time, you're not utilizing your time properly, see how many marks other people are getting, why are you not getting it? And see how your cousins are performing, how are you not performing so well? What's wrong with you? How many times should we teach this concept to you? So all of these things got really deep in her psyche because she did not like comparison. And because of that, she developed self-image issues. That means she started to not trust herself. She simply started rejecting her identity. And you know what happened as a result of it? She started developing acne. Now, acne is an indication that you are not loving yourself and you are simply rejecting your identity. That means whatever you are feeling, you are simply not confronting it and you are doubting about yourself. Even if you're feeling invalidated, you are doubting why you are feeling invalidated. So when she went through all of this, she developed acne. And just imagine after developing this acne, she also had to hear from a lot of people that why have you developed so much acne? Is everything all right? And see how your face is getting impacted and all of that. So that diminished her confidence even more. So in order to cover up for this, she started developing fascination for makeup because that was her way to accept herself. And she found a lot of interest in makeup. And because of this, she came into this field of fashion, influencing, and this makeup. And she was very happy doing it because that gave her a sense of identity. She felt so much therapeutic doing this work because when she applied makeup to herself, she could feel good about herself. And that brought her a lot of satisfaction and joy. And over these years, she had forgotten about everything that she had faced as a child because just like, she just thought that, okay, maybe that was a phase and I was not meant to be a good student in the sense academically very sound, meant to come in this industry. So here am I as, working as a fashion influencer. But now you see, when she stopped posting content of the counseling skills on social media, it was because of the fear of losing her identity as a makeup artist. Now, why this fear? Because subconsciously, she started to feel that if she stops posting this content or if people stop relating to her as a fashion influencer, then how would she be able to survive? Or how would she be able to accept herself? Because she had always accepted herself, or she started to accept herself when she started beautifying herself, because that gave her a sense of identity. So if somebody takes that away from her, or if people stop believing in her work and they don't offer her these projects, then how is she going to sustain with her identity, which she has built over a period of time? That means she would have to go back to that identity which she masked with the new identity. And that identity was a painful one. It was full of self image issues. So when we healed that part of her, then she was able to really understand that the past is past and she could come out of it. And then it did not really bother her much, and she was able to pursue her current passion along with the new passion without really feeling insecure that I could lose this passion. And what if people stop giving me the projects in this? Nothing. Her love for her makeup, her love for fashion started to develop on the base of trust for herself rather than on the base of insecurity. So that's the work we did together on her. And that's such a beautiful thing to see because you might do something feeling that it feels good to you. But you always have to ask yourself that are you doing it out of insecurity or are you doing it because you really, really love the work, right? So anything which is done out of insecurity must be converted to something where you can absolutely feel secure and safe in yourself, and then you can pursue the work that you're doing. I hope you enjoyed listening to this case study, and I wish you all the best in whatever you do in life. And if you would like to avail a healing session with me, where we will incorporate the regression therapy of inner childhood trauma healing and also the emotional freedom technique and other therapeutic processes if needed, then you can book your session by clicking on the link which I've given in the description and also in the comment box. Thank you so much.